I spent hours up at night trying to figure out how to get past this, how to get back to myself. My daughter was asking me, Daddy, why don't you smile anymore? Like, my daughter was asking me, why did I keep this job? Like, you're unhappy. Like, others around you noticed that, like, there was nothing. And then because of that, it's affecting my family. And guess what that made me do? I was even more depressed. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I'm Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, joined with my co-host Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Nerds, assemble. Hey man, if you are a comic book nerd, if you are a political news nerd, this is your time. Since July 13th, man, you done had someone take a shot at Trump. Then he announced his VP pick. Then Joe Biden steps down. Then the Democrats all of a sudden remember how to run a party and unite behind VP Harris. Then you got all this speculation about her VP pick. Then you got Wolverine and Deadpool in the movies. And then you got Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom revealed at Comic-Con. So if you are a political news nerd or a comic book nerd, it's been a pretty good 2 weeks for you guys. So celebrate that, enjoy that. Once again, like we said last week, go check out Deadpool and Wolverine. Very funny movie. But besides that, we also got the Olympics going on, and our girl Simone Biles, who we called as early as like last year. We've been calling her the GOAT, and she just cemented that on a injured calf muscle, I believe it was. She's still out there doing her thing and helped the U.S. team bring home the gold today. So I think she's the most decorated gymnast of all time now in the Olympics. So
U.S. gymnast.
It's just
US
in
the world right now.
Overall. So
yeah.
I think this goal put her above everybody.
No, for Olympic, for not
that's what I thought.
I'm just gonna tell you.
I read most decorated.
It's all right. I have her as the most decorated U.S. gymnast with 8 medals, 8 the Olympic medals. So you got to remember, there's Olympics in this world. So
she got
and she's the most
30 in
decorated
world.
U.S. gymnast, surpassing the great Shannon Miller.
So doing a thing. Olympics just kind of kicking off, man. So by the time you guys hear this, she may have won a couple of more medals by then. And the USA basketball team, they're doing their thing. They got past, who was that, Serbia?
Yeah.
Yesterday, where they had my man KD out there balling. So hopefully they can bring home the gold as well, too. I do want to see them play South Sudan again, because that was an interesting game in the qualifying round. So, but that's all I got, man. Nerds and Olympics. That's what I got.
Yeah, you definitely took my Robert Downey Jr. News. So
so I'm gonna butcher her name. Latinia has the most medals of any female athlete in Olympic history. Oh, hold on, let's see. I don't know. It's too many different things. But you brought up 2 good points. Well, 3 good points in just 2 statements.
So I'm reading. She passed Antwerp, Belgium, and she became the most decorated gymnast in world history with a 37th career medal in international competition. I guess that includes world and Olympics. She up there. She's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Is what we're saying. She's pretty damn good.
We're splitting hairs. But what's funny about this, and you know, if I had a shirt, it would say read the comments, right? You mentioned Simone Biles. how Simone Biles, we mentioned the U.S. men's basketball team, and in mentioning the U.S. men's basketball team, of course, LeBron comes up as well. And Razi started going out of turn, but it's just funny in the last just week how much hate I've heard on those three great American heroes, I guess. You got the U.S. team, men's team, Simone Biles, and LeBron James. And it's been nothing but hate. People find a way to hate. You know, from Simone Biles, like she's getting too much publicity. There's people that hate that we're talking about her right now. Right? They went after her hair being not done. Like, I don't know how many of y'all ever participated in the Olympics, but I don't think that's one of the prerequisites or things that you're worried about. You know, it was just everything about it. Every time I see it, you know, this video talking about she's not as talented and the fact that she has moves named after her that were banned, and she's not the first person that has moves named after her that were banned, and y'all are making this a race thing. I'm like, my God, just appreciate greatness. And then with the U.S. Olympic men basketball team, it was the fact that during the exhibition games, they struggled somewhat, or appeared to struggle. But when you look at it, they didn't have some of their deadliest players, and it was an exhibition game, right? You don't put all the exhibition games or kind of to figure things out. It's like scrimmaging. If I remember correctly, we had a couple of scrimmage games, spring games, Byron, back in the day. Our football team looked pretty damn good compared to some of these people. We thought we had a chance, and then the regular season happened. We're like, oh, they were trying to wing T in the spring to see if that worked. And it worked. They went back to the Power I, and we got drugged. It's, come on, people, just relax. And then the fact that it's like, these guys are bums. The dream team would have beat South Sudan by 1,000 points and all this. I'm like, dude, I talked about this last week. Basketball has changed. The rest of the world has caught up with us. And then once again, because he's the captain of the team, LeBron, they haven't lost a game, but they still found fault with this guy. I don't know. I was like, well, when KD was on the floor, of course he's better than LeBron, because when he was on the floor, they, you know, their point differential or, you know, their plus minus was crazy. And then they even brought Joker in there. The fact that when he was in the game, the point differential was a little lower. So I'm saying that he was more of a valuable player than LeBron. I'm like, my God, we keep moving the goalposts. Did they win? Have they lost a game? He scored 21 points to KD's 23.
At like 40, what is he, like 43, 44? Like,
he's 39, turning 40. He had 9 assists, 8 rebounds. What more do you want from a guy? Like, what more do you want from him? He's playing against the world's best. But yet and still. So I always look at the comments. It's amazing how people wake up and find fault. I just anytime I see anything good, it's like, man, it's gonna be amazing how people turn this around. Maybe that's my new thing. Just want to see how people turn things around.
Yeah.
So, Razi.
It's funny. I had the same 2 things buff in there. Robert Downey Jr. back as Dr. Doom. I am super excited about that, man. I say that to say I don't want him to be Dr. Doom, like the long-term Dr. Doom. I think this is a ploy. I think it's a twist. It's gonna kind of be cool. I don't think he's gonna play the actual Dr. Doom. I think he's a variant, probably in wherever they're doing the Final Four or Fantastic Four in that movie, and then they're gonna actually pivot to an actual Dr. Doom. That's my fan theory out there. I'm just throwing it out there first. But either way, I think
a lot of credit.
Feige knows what he's doing. I know they were trying these like lesser known characters, and so people didn't like Phase 4, Phase 5 type thing. But I think in the grand scheme of things, he knew what he was doing. He was slowing down. He had to figure out what to do when the Avengers leaving. And I think Disney was like, we need content, make content. But I really do think he had some type of plan for when he was going to get the X-Men in. Because you got to think, at the beginning of Phase 4, we didn't have the X-Men yet, right? They hadn't bought Fox, and he had run out of stuff with the Avengers to do. So I think it was just kind of he did kind of lose a step there, but now I really do think he has a pretty good plan for how to bring it all back together when the X-Men come in. So I'm super excited, just based off of Deadpool and Wolverine. I think they're gonna, Marvel's back, as Buff said. So I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed.
You didn't like, oh, well, you haven't seen Wolverine and Deadpool yet, have you?
No, haven't had a chance.
Okay. All right. So after you go watch that, or whenever you see that.
One movie, I mean,
They've had hits. They've had a lot of misses, but they had Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They had, that was pretty good.
Come on.
Doctor Strange 3. No, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was great. Let's just I'm saying pretty good, but it was great.
Don't say Doctor Strange, please.
You didn't like Doctor Strange?
Say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was good, but that wasn't necessarily MCU.
Yeah,
it was. MCU.
Spider-Man has been on only bright side. To be honest, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might be second. It's a close tie for second and third. Like, I maybe at the villain. I didn't really like the villain. I think Guardians 1 by far exceeded everything else. 2 and 3, it's a toss up.
Really? I mean, I like 3.
Yeah.
That story was great to me.
You made that clear.
Yeah, Rocket. So, but I mean, I get it. I get it. Everything's not for everybody.
Let's go. Let's keep going. Guardians 3. We have a whole Phase 4 and Phase 5. No, whatever you're about to say.
Ant-Man wasn't horrible. It was pretty good.
It wasn't good. It was. Yeah.
So, yeah, we already talked about that. We're not gonna get
haven't had a good villain.
We're not gonna get into that.
I think the villains just have been letdowns.
Yeah,
coming from Thanos.
I can see that. I can see that.
Even all the stuff they did with Kang was a letdown in Guardians. I mean, not Guardians, in Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you throw in some of the shows. Moon Knight was good. Loki was good. So that there were good shows in there. Like I said, they were doing a lot. They were doing too much. I think they're focusing now. They cut a lot of stuff out. They've got characters that people are really interested in. I think it's gonna change. It's gonna swing around. So we'll come back to it after all of this. So we'll see.
I'm looking forward to a new Captain America. Obviously, the lead up to the new Avengers. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That looked good.
So hopefully they can turn it around.
But you got to readjust what your expectations of Captain America are. But that was good. The trailer for that was pretty good.
Marvel is why I got Disney Plus. So I really want them to turn it around because that's the only reason I got Disney Plus.
Marvel and I think, was it a Mandalorian?
Yeah, The Mandalorian was great.
Yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, yeah.
Now, the Acolyte was good. I don't know if you watched that. The Acolyte was pretty good. It was slow towards the first 1-2 episodes, but then it really picked up towards the end. So it was really, really good. Once they start putting everything together. X-Men 97. So, that's what I mean. I really think there's kind of this thought of bringing everything back together. So I'm optimistic, man. Speaking of optimistic,
unless that's tied into continue.
Just Kamala, I don't know what her campaign managers were doing back in 2020 when she was running, but whatever they did, the new campaign managers, if they're the same, they smartened up. They did something, because this Kamala is so different than the 2020 Kamala. Her personality's coming through. I don't know if it's just the weight's not there. She's having more fun, whatever. She's actually has a personality where I was definitely critical of her, that she just didn't come off personable like she was having fun, like that she really wanted it, right? It was stoic. It was, here's what I have to do. I don't know if that was the actual one or this is the actual Kamala, but whatever it is, but this Kamala and this personality that's coming through right now is working. It's getting a lot of people excited. We talked about the excitement of it all, but she's winning over a lot of people that she couldn't win over in 2020. And so I'm excited for her campaign, man. I think it's doing well. And, she just had her address in Atlanta and everything like that. And when she hit Trump with the, you got a lot of things to say about me, go ahead and say it to my face. It was another great line. Like, I don't know if her speech writers are better. I don't know, again, if her campaign is just much, much better. Maybe it's just the donor base and everybody behind her is making it a lot easier. Whatever it is, it's working. And so I tentatively walk back the whole Trump's going to win. Because when we first talked about this, we said, it's great, good, Joe got out, but Trump's still going to win. I don't know now. And so that's some good stuff for us that, at least it's there, that the Democrats have a chance. Because we didn't have a chance at all with Joe. So I'm just excited that we're kind of moving in the right direction with that.
We should be getting a VP pick the week that this episode drops.
Yep.
That's gonna make a hell of a lot of difference, I think. I think Vance did Trump. I feel like he was
favors.
A letdown.
Yeah, he did him. He's actually hurting him right now. I feel like it's his favorability rating is like -15 now. It's bad. He's dragging the ticket down, actually. This whole cat lady thing, and he's talking about, talk bad about people without kids and calling them sociopaths and things. Like, JD Vance is way out there, and we know he was way out there. And I think that's what Trump liked about him, but it's not helping because, he doesn't have that Trump persona behind him that people will let him just say whatever. And so he's saying all this wild, crazy stuff, and it's actually hurting Trump because Trump's having to answer for JD Vance's stuff instead of answering for his own stuff and spinning his stuff. And so it's just compounding where it's all spin and he has to spin everything that's being said instead of actually being able to go out there and do his 4 talking points that he has. I don't want to talk too bad about him, but He needs to do what Kamala did in 2020.
What?
Shut up.
Just kind of fade to black.
Yeah. That might be what's going to happen.
Strategy.
Yeah.
I think that was her strategy, was to do no greater harm.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really came down to, do you like Trump or do you want Trump or do you want Biden? All a VP could do was hurt them. And now with Vance being, to me, showing what a bad VP pick can do. But you know what? I just, once again, Trump is so strong that I don't think, his supporters, I always have to think, take his supporters out and look at the undecided in the swing states and the swing voters. That's who we're looking at. Mm-hmm. Because, everybody else, the people who are going to vote for him are going to vote for him no matter what. They've proven that.
That's the thing. I didn't understand that pick anyway, because JD Vance isn't bringing any independents and moderates over. So he didn't add to the ticket much other than carrying, where is he from? Ohio, I think, wherever he's from.
And I think they think whoever wins Ohio wins the race.
Yeah.
I think I've seen strategists say that's
I believe he was thinking about the future of the party, and
he isn't who
when he picked Trump, and so when he picked Senator Vance, he's running against Biden, so he felt like his campaign really felt like this election was in the bag and they was going to run away with it, and they didn't need to pick someone that could carry another state for them or bring in independence. He was looking more so, I got this election, let me look to the future, let me pick this young guy who can carry the torch.
That's just like me, that has my ideals and all that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the next wave of Trumpism in him, I can see that. That makes sense. So, but that's all I got, man. So, Fergie, you're on mute.
They didn't. I mean, that made sense because it maybe that was Biden's deciding factor. Like, oh, like this is the time. It's like this. Vance might bring him down enough where we can make this switch and still win. You know,
Trump, he wasn't beating Trump regardless. I don't know. I don't know if JD Vance made the like that's it. That's the one right there.
Biden I think he was going to stick it out, and because a lot of people said who else can beat Trump. Now it's this Trump Vance ticket weakens Trump's ticket. And so it's like,
and I think we saw a lot of people saying it doesn't matter who can beat Trump, you can't beat Trump. I think once he started seeing those polls, that he was slow or like not even slowly, steeply declining, where people were like they weren't even funding him anymore. People weren't sending him money. The donors weren't sending money. It was like he had nobody behind him for real. And so I think once he started seeing all that, it was like, I got to get out.
Yeah, and there was no way in. I mean, there's no way to win because you can't debate him again. That's so there's no way to prove that you're a better candidate at this point. All you can do is let him talk. Trump's talk tracks were way too powerful. I debated him. He couldn't even debate me. His party, 2/3 of his party don't even want him. His donors stopped supporting him. What is there to talk about? That's on a t-shirt. That's my whole campaign slogan.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there's nothing, we don't have to even talk about the real politics of it. He can't debate. The people don't want him and the people won't support him. Why are we talking about healthcare? Why are we talking about anything that matters? It's just really what it is. Because people don't care about the real nitty gritty, the platform. It's a popularity contest at this point. And when you look at it, it's, Trump was going to be the mean girl. Like, oh, this is your savior?
Mm-hmm.
So, my bad. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Where is Sophie on vacation?
No, she's here. She's here. She went and saw her school today for the 3rd time. She was like, she wasn't even happy about it or whatever, but she's excited about middle school. So, but she's in there, probably doing her hair or something, knowing her. So hold on, let me see.
Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. You'll get 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, enjoy access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with the welcome offer of 150,000 points, your business can soar to all new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hello.
What up? Where's Bonnet Sophie?
Bonnet Sophie's taking a nap right now.
Okay. Till I said what up, though.
I'll make sure to tell her that in the morning.
Okay. How goes it?
It goes well.
That's awesome.
It does.
I think I'm going to get your joke today.
I don't think so.
She ain't going to give you time.
Yeah, you do kind of cheat.
I would never do such a thing. These are accusations. I plead the 5th.
I don't think you would ever cheat. I misspoke.
Exactly. Why did the computer go to the doctor?
He had a virus.
Ah, dang it. No! No! I didn't cheat this time. I didn't say it fast enough.
Yeah. Oh, it's your redemption.
Why did the Scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his fields.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you guys get this one. But there you guys get it.
We're gonna have your dad edit that one out.
Nuh-uh, you can't be cheaters.
Oh, we're cheaters.
Yeah. If
Yeah, I don't think so.
if you guys
And I've known him
figured
a
out
little
my
longer.
first joke, you guys could figure out my first joke.
Yeah.
Go somewhere.
That was a warm-up joke. Love that little girl.
She got so big so fast. It's crazy.
Bruh, I'm looking at Sky. Sky is getting tall.
Yeah.
Like,
Sophie Sophie
can't.
completely skipped size 10 clothes. Like, she was in 8s, and I bought her some 10s, and I think she wore them for all of like 3 weeks, and now she's grown out of them. Like, it's crazy.
I think Sky's in its 10 now. She's in a size 6 shoe. Like, she's tall. Her best friend, who's 7, almost 8, turns 8 in 2 months. They were like always neck for the longest. They were like neck and neck in height. Sky was just a little bit taller, and we had a birthday party Saturday. And I'm like, I just saw y'all 3 weeks ago, and now the height difference is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's probably a 2-inch gap between them now. So, but who didn't get to go
Middle
last
school
week?
is
I know
crazy.
I went, and then
And I went. So I think it's Buff.
Buff, you went, right? No.
Nah, I didn't go.
Which, first of all, I want to tell me about that SWAC shirt you got on. What school is it? What school? You just represent the SWAC? You represent?
Oh, these are shirts we throw in the parade.
Oh,
A couple of them made it back to DC.
I don't think I had any. I don't think I got any.
You should. We all had
Yeah.
some left.
Man, that was
Unless you didn't take any with you.
man. I was just trying to get back to Houston, man. Oh yeah, I do remember that shirt.
Yeah.
That seemed like a lifetime ago. Bam has
Right?
complete 180 in the last. I don't even talk about it. Let's go. What you got for us, Buff?
So I saw this being discussed on social media several months ago, and I jotted it down as a possible future question. But basically, they were there are some people, believe it or not, that don't really believe in depression. They said being depressed is just being sad, and we all get sad. You be sad for a while, and then you get over it. As someone who does believe in depression, and I feel like I know people who have been depressed, not just sad, but like depressed, like no matter what's going on around them, they can't break out of it for a while. I want to ask you two intellectual brothers, what is the difference between sadness and depression?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
might be the only question.
Yeah, because to the people who don't believe in depression, you. So, because coming from somebody who has dealt with depression, right, and still generally deals with depression on instances, right, like there's a huge difference, and maybe until you experience it, you won't understand. Depression isn't just being sad. Sometimes you could be happy and be depressed. It truthfully is like it's the entire world, and if you've ever been lifting weights and like got stuck under the weight, that's how it feels. It's like no matter what you do, you can twist, turn, wiggle, push as hard as you can, and it won't go up, it won't move. That's what depression feels like. It's literally, it's a struggle to get out of the bed. And you can tell yourself a million times, get out of the bed. And you can sit there in your head saying, you got to move, you got to do it, you got to go do these things. And your body won't listen. And that's just to get out of the bed. And so think about going through the entire day with everything that's on your plate, every task, everything that you're doing. Your body just wants to not do it. Your body just wants to sit down and curl in a ball and lay in the bed. And you're sitting there in your head like, nigga, get up. Like, no, you got to do these things, and you just can't. That's depression. Depression is when the best thing in the world happens to you and you want to be happy about it, but you can't be. You're like I said, you can be happy but not be happy at the same time. It's that, right? It's like this great thing just happened. You got promoted, or kid got into college, and you want to be happy for him, but you can't be. Your body's just like still in in the depression, right? It's just still down there and it won't come out. I've heard analogies of like walking through mud. Kind of think about it like that too. It's like, how your feet just kind of drag and you're doing everything you can to kind of move forward. It's all of those things, man. So those folks, it's like, oh yeah, you're just a little sad and you can get over it. It's not that. It's not just getting over it, because it's that compounding of sadness. Being a little sad is, oh, it's raining outside, I can't go wherever, or oh, I didn't get that promotion. It's usually sadness like that is usually tied to a individual like instance or thing that's happening. So you're sad about that or whatever. When you're just sad in general about everything, when the good stuff happens and you still are sad, that's probably depression. So a lot of these people that's talking about, oh, you're just sad, get over it, or you get over it, they probably are depressed. They probably are sad a lot, and in their head they're just saying, oh, I'm just sad a lot, so but I get over it and I'm good, because they also think that depression is a constant like down. And so I if you've ever watched Winnie the Pooh and Eeyore, right, and they throw a birthday party for Eeyore, and even in the birthday party, Eeyore still like, oh yeah, thanks everybody, I'm so happy, and he's still that like. Eeyore is depression. Like, he is the personification of depression. So just if you don't understand it, just go watch that, right? It's real easy to kind of see how even the happy moments, you can't get out of that. And so when you're sad, you can get back out of it, right? You can get over it. But it's still a roller coaster ride. It's still you have good days and you have bad days. You have days that, you get up and you're like, oh yeah, everything's good. And then all of a sudden by 5 o'clock, you like, back to it, and you're back down. So it's a struggle, man, and you have to constantly work at staying out of it, and so you gotta keep working at it. You got to stay out of it. I mean, to this day, I still like have bouts with depression. It's days that it's just I can't do it, and so to those folks, man, I mean, I tongue in cheek said F you, but at the same time, I really want them to go get educated about it. Talk to some folks that have had and been through depression, and show some empathy, really. If somebody's saying that, psychologists and medical doctors are saying that this is a thing, you probably need to believe them. It's not something they've studied it. Like they know the difference between sadness and depression. So that's it. I'll get off my high horse. I'll let Ferg kind of get a edge in wise. So I'll turn it over to you, Ferg.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to say F you, because Razi already said it. And I'm going to try to take a different approach. And I think, like so many terms we use in today's society, things like depressed can be overused. And so people can mix them up, right? Anytime somebody seems like they're down, the new word, it's the buzzword of the 2000s, right? Mental health, emotional intelligence, depression, anxiety, all those things, right? So if you really just take a look at what we're talking about, they're like kissing cousins. Sadness, let's talk about sadness first, because I don't think you hit on that enough, Razi. Sadness is a normal reaction, mostly associated with difficult times. A movie can make you sad. Like, sadness is normal. That is a reaction that everybody in the world has. They're sad at some point. Full stop. Depression is a emotional disorder that people deal with that have symptoms which can include things like sadness, anxiety. Like it's a symptom, and kind of like Razi was saying, where it's deeper than just being sad. It's a disorder that you and most people aren't equipped to handle on their own. And there's levels to it. Like, there's levels to everything, where I think, unfortunately, we're so used to being okay or even slightly depressed that we can't even shake it. We don't even recognize it. Like, there's so many things going on in the world that it's just like we're kind of in this blah state. And if you went to a therapist, the average person goes to a therapist and they sat down and talked, there's like, you have mild depression. Like, you're just riding it out. And when I say there's levels to it, Razi kind of hit on some of the things where you can't get out the bed and all that stuff. And I caution people because I'll full transparent, today is I dealt with depression the first half of 2023. I mean, I was in it bad to the point where I needed to take FMLA for a month. Because I couldn't, as somebody who's been through a lot, somebody who's always been able to overcome, I just didn't have it in me anymore. Like, there was nothing I can do to dig myself out of whatever it was, that weight that was on me. And it wasn't that I couldn't, I didn't have that TV depression, because that's what I was looking for. I was looking for not being able to get out of bed and empty pizza boxes and sitting around in my robe and not taking a bath for days and all those things. But I'm also resilient, the head of my household, the leader, and I had a lot of people depending on me. So I can afford to be that person. And not saying anybody who is that person is weak. It's just that wasn't my experience with depression. And so for me, I'm looking for those signs to say, if I saw those signs, I'm depressed. I was functioning in depression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
I call it zombie.
Bed.
Like you because that's how it feels. It's like you're just a zombie in the day.
I could get out the bed. I can make it through my day. But there was days I like Razi said, I zombied through the day. And when I got home, I sat on the couch. And I had nothing left. I remember Z and I had a heated debate one day because she was asking me to like maybe bathe TJ or something. And I tried to explain to her, it's like, baby, I'm not even trying to make an excuse. It took everything I had in me, every single thing I had in me, to just get on this couch, just to make it to this couch. I was overwhelmed I was dealing there with grief. Anxiety from my job. I was just overwhelmed from all the financial stress. It was just so much going on, and there was a weight on me that I could not shake. I spent hours up at night trying to figure out how to get past this, how to get back to myself. My daughter was asking me, Daddy, why don't you smile anymore? Like, my daughter was asking me, why did I keep this job? Like, you're unhappy. Like, others around you noticed that, like, there was nothing. And then because of that, it's affecting my family. And guess what that made me do? I was even more depressed.
Yep.
Right. Like, because I'm not being the man I need to be for my wife and my kids. I'm snapping. I'm irritable, like everything. And that's not sad. Bambi's brother getting shot was sad. Tony Stark dying. That's sad. By the time the movie was over, I'm back at it. What we're doing next? I could not shake it. It was months. I literally had to take a month off of work, which I've never done since freaking 1997, since I worked at Dale Shamps. I've always worked. I've always done something. And I'm like, I don't have it in me. All I could do is wake up, and still, even the first couple of days, I was still trying to be productive. And my wife and my therapist, because I was meeting with my therapist twice a week, because there was something going on with me that was abnormal. And I had to talk about what I was going through, what I was feeling, why I was feeling these things. Like, these aren't things I wasn't equipped, or no one around me was equipped to handle and help me navigate. And it was like, yeah, wake up, sit around, do nothing. Just focus on you. That's the only thing you can focus on. That's the only thing you have the capacity to focus on right now. Then when I wake up, sit around for a while, did nothing. I felt guilty for doing nothing, And so it took a while for me to get out of that. when I say depression is real, man, I hope nobody has to feel it. Or I hope if you're going through something similar and you take off your tough guy or tough woman, independent woman, whatever exterior, and say like, I'm going through some things that I can't shake. This is my plug for therapy. Go seek somebody that can help you identify it. Whether you identify it or not, if it's there, it's there. It's almost like not going to the doctor and not knowing you have something doesn't mean if you're pregnant, you're pregnant. The doctor don't have to tell you you're pregnant for you to be pregnant. If you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with depression. Unfortunately, I think we become so accustomed to being in this state that it's our norm. And I'll leave with this. I realize, and I think it leads to this, most people are like, how you doing? Like, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. And I think I talked to you guys about it. I know how to talk to you guys about it. Like, I want it to be better than okay. Like, we're so used to just being okay. Like, we're good enough to get through the day, maybe have a good weekend here or there, but we're just okay. And I recognize I wasn't even okay anymore. Like, I just wanted, if I could get back to just being okay, that was a win. So that's what depression was for me. And hopefully for all the people who aren't dealing with depression or whatever, I hope that you in your life can get to being better than okay. It's okay to be better than okay. It's okay to be great. So that's my 2 cents on it. Buff?
I recently said these boys don't miss, and they prove it again. I'm going to let you guys be the main course in the drinks, and I'm going to just add just a little bit to the meal, because I think you both pretty much said everything that needs to be said. Ferg, you mentioned that sadness and depression are like kissing cousins, and I agree. I was going to relate it more like to neighbors, and not even necessarily next door neighbors, but they're on the same street at least. Sadness is probably a couple of houses down from depression. I think the best way to sum it up, I look at sadness as weather and depression as climate. So yeah, in Southern California, they have dry heat. It almost never rains, but it rains sometimes. So, just because they have dry heat and it hardly ever rains doesn't mean they never get rain. Just because you're depressed doesn't mean you don't have, happy or normal moments. I like what you said about being a functioning depressing person, because, there are people that can be depressed and go to work, and there are people that have taken their lives, and you talk to their coworkers. I just saw him at work yesterday. He looked fine. Like internally, they were crying and screaming inside, but they just learned how to hide it. And that's what makes the rhetoric that I saw on social media that day so dangerous, because it's difficult enough to try to navigate and deal with depression. But then let's say you finally open up and talk to someone about it, and for them to say, oh, nigga, you just sad, man. Just get over that. Like, you know how defeating that would be to someone that's going through it? Some of the stuff Ferg coming to me, hey, Buff, you got a minute? I need to call you real quick. And he tell me what he tells me, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. Just man up, man. I was sad just last week, man. What the hell would that have done to you? So,
yeah. It alienates you, and what ends up happening is you get further into that depression because you feel like you don't have any friends. You don't have anybody that's there for you. And so that's
or you
another...
feel guilty. You feel weaker.
Yeah.
You feel even weaker because now you're like, I'm in my head. Like, everybody's going through this. Everybody has tough times. Everybody's job sucks. Inflation is crazy. Everybody has problems. Like, it's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's pretty much all I needed to add to it. Just that I think we as human beings, we can be such, I have to see it to believe it type people. Like I say this about domestic violence. For whatever reason, we don't clutch our pearls until we see it on video. You know what I mean? Like, we can hear about, we heard about the stuff that Diddy, or I don't even want to pick on Diddy. We've heard about abuse of celebrities, but we only like latch on to the ones we have video of. Dr. Dre got the same allegations as Diddy, but we ain't no video on Dre. So we haven't clutched our pearls at him like we have at Diddy. So for a lot of times I think we have to see it, and you can't always see depression. And that's what makes it, I think, difficult for some people to be, to have empathy towards it or understand it.
And depression does not have to be linked to a situation. Remember, it is an emotional disorder. And I want to say that because part of what I was dealing with, I felt guilt for feeling the way I did, because even with everything that was going on, I still had a damn good life. I had a beautiful wife, beautiful family. I still had a good job that was paying me well. I had a lot of great things going on in my life that, how the hell am I depressed? There's people out here that's living check to check, can't pay their rent. They out here praising God. Like, I'm sitting there going through all these things in my head and like, how do I have the nerve to be depressed? And that's also a part of it where people make you feel guilty because, it's that first world problems. It's those things where it's just like, man, how do I feel this way when things are going this? Man, you know how many people love to have my life? The Anthony Bourdains, all these, because we talked about this several times, Byron.
Yeah,
all these people who have committed, some suicide and things like that, and then you call them weak for taking the coward's way out, or however people use all these terms to deal with these things and not understanding what these people were going through. And what they were going through, don't look at the situations they were in, look at what they were dealing with. It is the depression they were dealing with has nothing to do with the situation they're in, if that makes sense. And so it's not necessarily dealing with tough times, because you can have, once again, you can have depression linked, and one of the symptoms can be severe sadness, but it could be just, you're just dealing with it. You just can't get out of this. There's a weight on you, and no matter what you're dealing with, you can't shake it. And you might seem, once again, I just saw him at work the other day. He seemed fine. Recently, I had a coworker who was with my former company, had a new career path, and out of the blue, just, I don't know the details yet, but disappeared. Like, there was a manhunt for him. Like, they were searching, and they found him a couple of weeks ago. He didn't make it. And so there's questions. Was he depressed? Was it like, those are things like all the family said he was acting different, and I saw him probably 2 months before, talked to him maybe 2 weeks before he went missing. And so I say all that to say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's not, and I think media, TV, and all this stuff kind of paints this picture where we all become experts on thinking we know what something looks like. Just like we all know what a crackhead looks like, right? We all know what an alcoholic looks like, but we all know functioning crackheads, functioning drug addicts, people that you would never think were doing things like this until the truth comes, until you see it. He's like, man, I would have never thought this person was beating their wife or cheating on their husband or doing these drugs or doing these things because they were able to function. So you just never know what people are going through. And it's not always as blatant as it seems. Yeah.
Like Roger said, it's not always Tony Soprano not being able to get out of the bed.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like you say, I mean, you might wear the mask, right? Where nobody knows what's going on. They got the mask on. When you were like, they ask, how are you doing? And you say, okay. Sometimes you're like, I'm great. It's good. Times are good. Because that's what you're trained and that's what you're conditioned to say. Right. Yeah. In sales,
like we got these canned
you leave that stuff. Yeah, exactly. You in sales, you leave all that at home. When you go to work, you living a dream. I'm doing great. I'm like this. And it just becomes this natural thing where you just put the mask on, you go out, you live life and smile and do all that. And then, like you say, at the end of the day, you walk in, you sit on the couch and you can't do anything else because it's like, I'm spent.
I mean, you put the mask on. There was days I was sitting in my car prepping to go in a hospital for 15, 20, 30 minutes because it took everything just to get out of my car to know that I had to be the best version of myself when I went to talk to this customer. That's putting the mask on. But sometimes I don't even think we put the mask on, we're so used to being in this mode that you live in a state of mild. There's a lot of people living in a state of mild depression, and wouldn't even notice it because they've been there so long. This is their norm, you know. So, let us continue.
We got time for one more.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's 51 minutes already. So, I was going to ask about Britney Griner saying that she's a dad. So that might be a whole nother conversation. So y'all think on that and ruminate on that. We'll just bring that back next week. Or do y'all think that'll be quick?
No, I don't even want to think on it. I don't even want to think on it. It doesn't. It's not worth my energy to debate what she wants to be called. What I will say is you got to pick one or the other. I'd rather her call herself a dad than these people who say I'm a mom and a dad. So you got to pick one or the other. That's my stance. I piss some people off. It is what it is.
What, Buff? What are your thoughts on that?
She's not a dad, but if that's what she wants to refer to herself as, that's.
Or is she a she?
She's a she. That's the thing. That's what like confuses me with Britney Griner, right? Like she's not trans. She understands that she's
is it do you have to be trans?
I mean, when you change your pronouns,
you're asking what does she identify
right,
as?
she identifies as a woman. So she identifies as a stud, I guess, or a woman that likes women, right? I don't think and that's what I mean by like trans. She doesn't consider herself a male. And so by her not considering herself a male, how is she the dad? Like, or why she would be considered a father at that point? So maybe that's it. Maybe she does identify as a male and she goes by he, her, or he, him, or whatever it is. For her pronouns. I've never heard that. And that's what kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, you can't live as a woman and then be like, you're the dad. Like, you need to be living as a guy.
Listen, everyone has the right to pretend. I'm not going to pretend with you. If you want to call yourself the dad, that's fine. That's your right to do. I don't see it that way, but that's just me. I'm one person.
What? The brothers are speechless.
No, it's one of those things. It makes you go, doesn't it? So, I will not go as far as Buff saying about pretending or whatever. I respect how you choose to identify. But as we continue to, and I guess this is the great debate, is at what point does it stop? Right? So there's your sexuality, there's your gender, there's your pronouns, like there's all these different things. And now
it's your parental status.
That. So I can call you she. I'm not. To be respectful, I got to call you she. I'm supposed to look at you as a woman. I don't even need to. I think your sexuality is your sexuality, and that's a private matter, right? Because I don't have to address you as a lesbian or a trans or whatever that is. That's your. I don't have to address your sexuality. That's your. But now, I have to remember that you are a female she dad. I'm so at this point we gotta like I draw the line there. And not because she wants to be called. No, it is because she wants to be called a dad.
Exactly. Same way wants to be called a dad. Same way we tell ladies you can't get Father's Day. She's a she. She can't get Father's Day. Like I don't understand.
You got to change your pronoun on this one. One got to go.
And listen, I too respect their decision, but like I say, I'm not going
Nope.
I'm not gonna pretend with you.
No.
Like,
nope.
That's what you want to do.
Nope.
That's your thing. But
you get to make so many rules. At a certain point, I gotta say we gotta halt. Like I'm confused because I don't want to disrespect. I don't want to disrespect anybody else, right? Like my thing is we're gonna normalize things. Okay, pronouns. What does he, she means? This when you look at their pronouns, this person identifies as this. So when this person identifies as this is what that means. You can have two moms. You can have two dads. You can have
a non-binary they parent.
Is there?
Yeah, non-binary. If they them, so I don't know. You can't call them a father or a mother at that point if they're non-binary.
Is there another parent now?
And I don't know what they call non-binary parents.
Probably they, them. Probably.
Happy they day?
Well, it's over 60 pronouns now. So.
Pronouns, I get that. But we're talking about parental status. Like we keep moving like we keep going down this rabbit hole of, hey, your dad's here. Do you want me to go get her for you? Like that's confusing, right? It's like at a certain point, and I'm not trying to be mean, like at a certain point, it's like you want not acceptance, you want people to respect your decisions. At a certain point, you got to give them something to respect. Like this is the road we're traveling. If your sexuality, if you want to be you're lesbian, you're bisexual, whatever it is, you're transsexual, asexual, whatever whatever it is, it's fine. Your pronouns, I'm fine. I don't even care about what your parental status is, but it has to match something.
Yeah. And to be fair, I
Nope.
think what she's saying is she wants to fill the father role, right? So when you go back to gender roles, like if you're a semi-traditional or a traditional person, she's saying, I'm going to fill the father figure in the marriage and I'm going to be the father role. I still don't agree with it, but I'm guessing that's where the mindset is that she feels like she's going to fill that role, whatever that is for the gender. She's taking out the trash, she's cutting the grass, the wife in the situation or the mom in the situation is going to be doing the motherly things, right? And so I get maybe where she's going with that, but when we talk about lesbian couples, a lot of times those gender roles kind of naturally happen and they still don't say I'm the mom, I'm the dad. There's still two moms, right, in a lesbian situation. So I think she's taking it even further than the general LGBTQ group have said.
And that's my thing. So when you watch stuff like what is it, Modern Family?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the two male household with they're both dads. One is definitely more feminine, one is definitely more masculine, but they still identify as dads. Is the title like I'm congratulating on you on being a parent and you feel the need to correct me because it's, so can a father be feminine?
And be the mom?
Right? A father still can be in the feminine role if it's two fathers in the household, right?
Hell, even if it's a woman and a man, they're the house husbands and stuff like that. They're gender swapped roles even in heterosexual relationships. So again, they don't swap titles based on the gender role.
Nope.
But all of a sudden, Britney Griner wants us to, and so that's why I'm a hard no on it. I'm with y'all on that, but
yeah, your role has to match your pronoun. That's my rule.
I like it.
If she wants to be, she's like, you know what, my new role is he, they. Hey, even if you go by they, you can be the dad. You can be pops. She said she wanted pops, right?
Yeah, pops.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to see more. I'm gonna have to have somebody sit down and talk to me. I'm missing something. what you said made a little more sense, but then I think once again it makes it confusing because now it's saying that there has to be a mother role, there has to be a father role. It's nah, I'm good.
Yep, just wanted to bruh.
I'm playing the matching game on this one.
Look at that. You slid that in there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and close it out, fellas.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm so curious as I see that Meg Thee Stallion performed at Kamala Harris's event in Atlanta. I just want to know what song she performed. It could be any song. I just want to know what song she performed at the presidential nominees campaign rally. But
probably that new one. What is
Clintonville,
it?
what up?
Momo Ski, whatever it is.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know. That's when we go to that's your category.
Exactly. Yeah, you be knowing the new Sexy Red Jam and all that stuff.
World tour.
It's Mamushi.
Clintonville, what up?
That's the name of it, Mamushi.
That's what I was gonna not say.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube Music, all podcast platforms. Download the Inspire You on Air app and check us out on Clintonville. Apparently, white dudes for Harris is racist, but blacks for Trump is okay. I mean, come on, MAGA crowd. You got to stay consistent, baby. You got to stay consistent now. Y'all good with blacks for Trump, but white dudes for Harris is racist some kind of way. Y'all are so soft. For all that bravado, y'all are so soft. I remember Obama called the right a basket. No, Hillary called y'all a basket of deplorables, and y'all was so. I remember Sean Hannity like leading his show off with, "She called us a basket of deplorables." Y'all so soft, man. Toughen up. Other than that, man, I was telling Ferg before we started recording. August 5th is coming up. When you hear this episode, it's Cinco de Negro. It's August 5th. I told y'all I was celebrating the anniversary of the chess swinging in Montgomery, Alabama. And I was not lying. I am off work August 5th. I will be grilling this weekend. I'll be smoking my cohibas, and I'll be making a couple of drinks here and there. So I don't know about y'all. Y'all can treat it as any other Monday if you want to, but I recognize Black history when I see it, and I celebrate it. And that's what I'll be doing. So to all that are celebrating with me, happy Black Unity Day. Happy Cinco de Negro Day. Enjoy.
Love it.
What you got, Rising?
Just one thing. For us here in Birmingham, and I think most of Alabama, the kids go back to school next week. So as this drops, it will be back to school week. So shout out to the educators. I've done it a couple times. But parents, make sure that your kids have everything they need. And especially if they're going to some of the school systems that have new rules out there. I don't know if you guys know Bessemer City Schools. So there's a city here in Bessemer, not necessarily Bessemer Projects back in Mobile, but Bessemer City Schools. They came out with new dress codes, and it is pretty hefty. There's no hoodies, there's no leggings, they can't wear Crocs. Like, there's a lot of things that what we call over the mountain or our white areas get to wear that they've essentially banned from their schools. I know in Mobile County schools, I think they have to do clear book bags now and those types of things. So there's a lot of changes that are happening and shifting that's happening in the school. So just make sure you check the supply list, check the dress codes, make sure your kids aren't out of dress code. So don't be going to buy school clothes if you haven't already bought them and get the wrong thing. So just make sure you check all of that. But other than that, man, I hope the kids have a really good first day back at school. Show all the pictures, post them on Facebook. I still love to see them. I know a lot of people complain about them, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of seeing these kids, but I love it. So for worst case scenario, Uncle Razi gonna look at them. And so just post all of those, and let's have a good year this year.
I like their dress code.
Yeah, they have like no PJs, no bonnets, stuff like that. I understand those, no slides, those types of things. But when you talk about like leggings, girls wear leggings all the time. Hoodies, like it's cold in there. I mean, I like a hoodie. I've got like 25,000 of them.
Okay, I still like the dress code. You're an enabler. You talked about whites for Kamala.
What?
It's hilarious because I saw a niggas for Trump recently, and then I happened to be in a hospital today, and it was so deplorable. The security was out front talking about like front of the hospital, like that metal detector, all kind of stuff, crazy. Front door. So everybody has to come to the hospital has to hear this or see this. And there is a long, loud conversation talking about why niggas need to vote for Trump.
Wow.
Not black people, but niggas. Like, I'm at the front desk getting ready to, get my badge. And I'm sitting there's like 3 Hispanic people and 2 white people behind me. And I'm just kind of just looking forward, like, and you can hear the entire conversation. It was just loud. And I'm like, God, dang it. He was just, and that's why he gonna win. And y'all niggas gonna see what we really need and all this. I'm like,
all right, ruckus.
God. So I don't know, but a couple of things. Happy birthday, Mom. Her birthday was this past Monday. She's actually here now. She'll be here for the next week and a half. She is watching the kids. We're getting ready to go on a vacation with the wife. And so we'll be gone for a couple of days. So I will be celebrating Cinco de Negro with you, Buff. So I will be drinking Mai Tais or something beachy, a margarita or a niggerita or something.
My nigga.
So I will be celebrating with you. We know Razi doesn't like celebrating black holidays. So
Yep.
Buff and I do. 2 out of 3 brothers ain't bad.
Oh, I know. I love it. You know, I'm all about the black holidays as well. But before then, I forgot to say happy birthday, Sophie. Her birthday is on Sunday, so we will just have passed her birthday.
What is she turning, 10?
Sure, why not?
Happy birthday, Sophie. Goddaddy Ferg has to send you something before. Yeah, send me on the list. You know how we do this. But outside of that, shout out Contentville. Shout out to our listeners. For all the people going back to school, be safe. For all our educators, even if you're not going back to school, I know a lot of you guys are going back early. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Do not pay any attention to the post talking about educators going on vacation and stuff like that and begging for school supplies. That might be one of the dumbest posts of the year. Do you enjoy your holidays? Thank you for all you do. Hopefully get a raise this year. With that being said, 3 Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week. Possibly.